Hey everyone, Mr. MC here. This is Lap Guide for Mount Panorama with the Aston V12 Vantage GT3. Let's get this started. Your first braking point is just after you pass the 100 meter sign. You'll be braking hard for a short moment, gradually ease off of the brakes. You can quickly go down to second gear, then back to third for extra rotation. Just slowly start to accelerate so you don't initiate any unnecessary wheel spin. So let's fast forward through this. Look for a path that is on the left just after the 100 meter sign, and that is where you want to start to brake. Brake around here so you don't overshoot the turn, and you want to bring yourself as close as you can to the curbs on the right. Don't get on the curbs on the right, you just want to be next to it. Ease off of the throttle as you're making this left turn, then start to brake just after you make that turn. You'll be controlling your braking power. Bring yourself as close as you can to the wall on the left. Carefully start to accelerate, bring yourself to the left, use the happy little tree on the left as your turning point, ease off of the throttle as you make the right turn. Take this first left turn at full throttle, then ease off the throttle for this next left turn, ease off the throttle again for this next left turn as well. Carefully accelerate, bring yourself to the left, point towards the right side of the track and start to brake just as you go under the Audi R8 sign. You'll be controlling your braking power as you go through this downhill section, just trying to make sure that you can still slow down while still having the ability to turn. Then you want to use a very quick burst of braking for this turn. Don't go too far to the left, otherwise you'll get an off-track penalty. Exit that turn on third gear, then use a little bit of braking as you start to make this right turn, and just after the turn ends, you want to use even more of your braking power. Slowly ease off of the brakes as you start to make this turn, and carefully start to accelerate so you don't hit the wall on the right. So let's go ahead and fast forward through this part. Take this right turn at full throttle and look for the 150 meter sign on the right, as that will be your next braking point. You'll be braking hard for a short while here. Try to touch the curb where the apex is hanging out at and exit this turn on third gear. Go ahead and bring yourself to the right side of the track and brake as you pass the 100 meter mark. This is similar to that of the first turn, where you want to brake hard for a short moment. Slowly ease off of the brakes, try to exit this turn on third gear, carefully accelerate, and you are good to go. But that is all for the lap guide. Let's go ahead and quickly talk about the strategies. Just a quick note, as you do your first lap, you want to be a little more careful with how you drive your car, since the racing hard tires will be pretty cold, so they're not going to provide all the grip that you need just yet. After you do about one lap, they should be warmed up and they should be providing the grip that you will need. And then after that, you can start to push just a little bit more. So going on to the race strategies, this is a pretty easy no-stop race. The fuel is a ×2, so you don't have to worry about refueling. The tire wear is a ×6, and since you are on racing hard tires, the tire wear will not present a problem that will make you have to worry about going into the pit stop to get a new set of tires. The tire wear will be a minor problem, nothing too serious towards the last couple of laps, but other than that, you pretty much just go all out for the entire duration of the race. You want to try to get a good qualifying time, as it's going to be pretty difficult to do any sort of overtaking throughout this track. So the further up you start, the less overtaking you'll have to do. So the Conrad Straight, which is where we just went through, and the Mountain Straight, which is just after turn 1, are going to be your main opportunities to do any sort of overtaking. You can also do a bit of overtaking just before the final turn in case the car ahead of you gets a really bad exit. It is possible to do an overtake over here, but you want to try to get the overtake done with before you go through turn 1, as if you end up compromising your own exit into the Mountain Straight, which is where we're at right now, then they're just going to end up overtaking you as you go down this straight. And as you go up and down the mountain, you do not want to do any sort of overtaking, as it's going to be pretty difficult to do so to begin with. And if you try to do it, then you're pretty much just inviting yourself to be sent to the Shadow Realm. So power cars will do pretty well here overall, especially with the long straights and the slipstream if there's any while you're doing the race. So cars like the Aston Martin V8 Vantage, the Nissan GT-R, the Dodge Viper, Chevrolet Corvette, those are just a couple of the cars that will do pretty good here. But yeah, that is pretty much it for this guide. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off now. So this is Mr. MCA, wishing you a good race, and I'll see you in the next video.